It will be just as annoying as this movie was.
Guys, welcome to Brain After Watch. You can't tell from how amazing we all look right now.
Yeah.
We watched Die Hard, right? And our coordinated red shirts.
The best Christmas movie.
We don't watch the best movies on this cast, though.
Oh.
We watch the worst. In this case, we watch the Amazon Prime classic,
Okay.
Santa Jaws.
Okay. This movie got 4 out of 5 stars, by the way, on Amazon Prime, so...
It was great. I legitimately like this movie.
Now,
Oh god.
I'm
course
thinking
you did.
there's a bunch of trolls. And you legitimately like too many movies that we do.
You know what? That's why I'm doing this podcast, man. I think you found out the secret.
Mm.
I like bad movies. Let's talk about it, though. I got my little notebook right
Let's
here.
let's have a drink first, shall
Let's
we?
all get drunk first.
Yeah.
See, it's off of 3 Floyd's bubblegum or gumball head.
Gumball.
It's
head.
not normal.
Prost. Totally
It's
tastes
my
like
favorite
gumballs.
cans ever.
Oh, that's very tasty.
Mm.
That's pleasant.
The end just hits you with that weird bubblegum flavor. And it's weird like this movie. So, let's do this. So do we have a synopsis for this movie? 'Cause-
I'm bringing it up right now.
By the way, if you guys haven't watched this, go watch this right now. You will not forgive us. I mean, you'll thank us
Mm.
later.
Sure.
And then also, you know what we're talking about during a review. So,
I think one of the best parts was I looked up this movie obviously, and the third search on my thing was Santa Jaws 2. Someone was like, "This movie is so good, I need to see the sequel."
Right.
Right. Which, by the way, there's no sequel.
as there should be.
Go figure. But someone was like, "Santa Jaws 2. There's got to be another one." I just finished it. What's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
They left all these unanswered questions. Guys, so it's like, what if you took Jaws like Jaws 3, like one of the bad Jaws ones. You mixed it with not like a Freaky Friday, but one of those ones where like it's all a dream.
Home Alone.
Possibly.
Home Alone.
Well,
Home Alone. Yeah, there's a lot of Home Alone in
But like Home Alone 7, like whatever, like the 7th one, like the 7th in the
Fair.
Septilogy. Everyone knows there's 7.
That's
right?
fair.
Yeah.
And then throw in like a little bit of Degrassi in there.
It's like I'm Kevin McAllister's grandson. You're like, what the fuck? What?
And throw in
What is
the
going on?
most beautiful teenage boy.
He's Kevin McAllister's grandson and also like Chief
A school
Brony's
shooter.
great grandson.
And also definitely like a school shooter.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
kid was a school shooter.
Also
So-
super gay.
And that's fine. But the
No,
school
but I
shooter
wish
part
that
was
had
the-
been like
But
the
like,
plot
in a
point.
way, in a way, like the talented Mr. Ripley.
He was
did.
like
he
a-
definitely was
He
probably
was
gonna
a
serial
beautiful boy. Like, he could have been like a model.
Mm.
for-
Trying to
Probably
sur-
was.
Yeah.
Trying to
Model.
survive the family Christmas, Cody makes a wish to be alone, which ends up backfiring when a shark manifests and kills his entire family.
Yep. I mean,
The
you don't
synopsis
have to
said-
see
what
the
it says,
movie.
oh,
You don't have to
you're
go
done.
see the movie now.
It writes itself.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
Um,
to watch.
Let's start with the fact that they just jump right into this movie. Like, there's no beginning credits. There's nothing leading up to it. There's a guy holding a gun that's shaped like a Christmas tree that has a Christmas tree around it. And he's about to shoot this girl on a dock somewhere.
Now, can we agree before you start this that none of these people will ever act again? Right? I mean, none of these people.
I don't agree. Because I did enjoy. What was her name? The Instagram model lady. I thought she was acting. She was trying to act, and I was like, okay.
Okay.
Like, okay.
Yeah, okay, so
Why?
she's in pornos then.
Like,
Okay,
why?
otherwise...
You know what though? I watch those pornos. Just saying.
So
well
yeah,
acted.
it starts off with this thing
Well,
that
it's
you're
like
like,
an actual
oh,
brawn porno. Not like
it's really like, do you think this is the movie? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what the movie's gonna be about, I guess.
Yeah, like, what is happening here? We
Yeah.
don't even know what's going
Yeah, I
on.
was like deep into the plot of this movie, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And there's like a guy and a girl and then Santa.
Santa was holding a gun that
Evil
was
Santa,
shaped
yeah.
like a Christmas tree to this woman,
Like-
and he was
like
going to shoot her.
If Danny Trejo violently fucks
Yeah.
and they made a child.
And then she kicked him in the balls, and his balls jingled.
No, I thought
Like
it was
jingle
funny.
bells. Yeah, that
And
was
that I think that was Jamie's first legitimate belly laugh for this movie. There's multiple.
And then the kid says to him before he kills him, "See you in Jingle Hell."
By the way, not a kid, a full-grown man who was the worst. I was like, that guy is the worst. If you're dreaming about this guy in your dreams,
Like, you're dreaming about
Yeah.
bad acting? Like,
no, he was the worst.
maybe, I think that's what it was. I think they wanted this acting to be worse than the actual acting, so it didn't overplay it.
See, for me, that kind of played the hand where I was like, oh, this is like some kind of dream sequence or like a movie. I thought it was a movie set, actually. I thought, like, this must be like a movie set or something that's happening in this town. Because like, that guy was so stupid.
It's also ridiculous action, too, right?
And I was like, there's no way this guy's a leading man ever. He looks like a dink. Yeah, I put homeless Santa. Because he's what you call him. Also, there's a fun line where he says, "You better watch out. You better not die." I was like, "Yeah,
fun.
This is how they set up this movie."
Yeah.
Right here. Boom. I'm ready to go. Kicked in the jingle balls.
He's eating my
It's
Santa
all
milk.
kid. It's all kid destroyed comic, guys.
Yeah, it's
Santa
a
Jaws.
comic. Santa Jaws, the comic.
Sorry,
So,
dogs are really dumb.
so he's like
trapped.
So the kid is not just he's not just a comic hero. He's also like a little activist of some sort. He like he's like saying like, oh, you got in trouble at school for like telling people like we shouldn't wear school uniforms because it's against
No, yeah, so
individuality.
you're jumping way ahead because you totally skipped the first comic guy scene where they're at the store.
But that doesn't matter.
No. Oh, no, I had stuff to say about that dude.
Okay,
like,
what's the
he
fair?
was the worst.
No. Yeah, I mean that's the point of this guy.
Yeah.
Right? His character is just a trope. He's like, somebody saw.
He made a gay joke. Let's just put that in there.
Like,
'cause it's like,
I saw Mallrats and wanted
Yeah.
to make a guy based
Exactly.
on that guy. You're like, okay.
Very Mallrats-esque.
but we didn't even talk
Like
about the
shitty-
fact that the
shitty-
Santa
like
went
shitty
into
clerks,
the
shitty
water,
Mallrats.
got eaten by a shark, and the shark became Santa Jaws. Like, we didn't even talk about that part.
That was the origin of
Yeah,
the
So
shark.
the origin of Santa Jaws in the comic is that she eats an evil Santa,
Yeah.
puts the hat on her fin, and she's like ready to murder people.
Also, she, and I did think that was liberating.
Yeah.
Nail shot.
Also, he called the party, the comic book store party, the biggest party of the century. I was like, of the century? Like, that's a lot to live up to. Like, you can't even prove that. Like, what?
Which, like, you think, like, something is going to become of this, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, why even mention that? Like, this is lore, guys.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, man.
So then we just get introduced to this giant, like, white rich family.
You're supposed to feel for it in any way.
Yeah.
Including a Snapstagram model.
Snapstagram, is that what it was called?
Snapstagram.
Snapstagram.
I wrote that down immediately. I was like, oh, you suck.
Because they couldn't get the rights to
And also,
Instagram.
Grandpa is like the good Santa in this movie. Like, he's the other Santa figure,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Literally delivering magic gifts to his grandson.
Can we also just talk about the
Look
fact
at
that,
It's like,
yeah. Oh god. Can we also just talk about the fact that, like, right from the get-go, you know this movie was made on, like, a $1 million budget. Like, it's filmed in a marina. Like, nothing ever happens on the ocean. It's all filmed inside of a marina that looks like it's, like, in some backwater Florida town.
It looks like a pond. It
Yeah,
looks like a
yeah,
pond.
seriously.
I keep calling it the bay, and I'm like,
Yeah.
the bay of what?
Yeah.
Like, the curvature of this bay makes it, like, 15 feet across.
No,
There's
it's definitely,
no
yeah.
waves either.
There's definitely, like, 20 feet of dock, and they just filmed it in
Yeah.
different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One every time.
Yeah.
There was also, like, no, if you listen to, like, there's no sound effects. So, like, anytime they throw a thing, anytime a thing falls down,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Well.
you're like, okay, there's, what? Like, we're in a movie now, and there's gonna be no sound. Like, they drop a plastic gun, there's a gun prop, they drop it, it just goes,
It's weird. They didn't
Okay.
ADR any of that. But
No.
the little Asian kid in the comic book store, they ADR'd his first, like, whole thing he said. It was ADR because you could tell he, like, must have said it mumbled or something. And then they made him say it again over the top of it, and you could tell it was just a little bit off that was ADR. It's
he
like,
had no clue what he was doing.
But
he
they
had
made
the worst
sure
fucking jokes of
they
all time.
made sure because this was originally a sci-fi movie, so makes sense, right? They
like
made
it.
sure
Almost
to
does
put
not.
in sound
Hold on.
effects of the shark growling because every single sci-fi movie that they make of like giant sharks or killer sharks have the sharks growling, and I don't know why they do that. Someone just loves it. And I know this is a ridiculous movie
Well,
and it makes no sense.
Because everyone knows the
No,
sharks. Like, yeah,
but
they have, like,
sharks
high-pitched
don't make
voices,
any
yeah.
fucking noise, and it's ridiculous. Yeah,
What does the shark say?
And no one's real high pitched
literally
shark.
nothing.
Oh yeah, and so they establish immediately this kid's like a pervert, maybe like that's a
Yeah, like spying on his neighbor.
Who's like
Reaper?
running around all
Who has never introduced
Inspiring.
himself to either.
Yeah.
You find out later. Like, you're like, oh, maybe it's a girl he's a crush on at school, but
and you're like,
oh,
oh,
never even fucking met her.
and you're like, oh, this is the first evidence. This kid is a school shooter.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, but then his family is fucking terrible to him, mostly,
Yeah.
except for the one rich dude. Rich dude
His
was like
uncle.
fucking nice to him. Rich uncle.
But you think like he's gonna be established as like the
Yeah.
bad guy or something, maybe?
Or as like the good guy somehow. But neither.
No. No, he's actually the kind of
No,
the,
Grandpa's the best, and he's the one who gets eaten first. So it's like,
Grandpa obviously is a pussy hound. You can tell it.
No.
He even like when he looks at the girl the one time when Cody looks at the girl, he's like, just like your grandpa, and it's like, oh shit.
Wait, you like underage girls?
He's like, I also want to fuck that girl. You're like, oh, that's gross, grandpa. No, nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah. Also, my grandma said to me like, "Man, get the fuck, never talk."
But
to me."
also, his grandpa, when they went fishing, brought a very special treat with him.
yeah. He was bringing a thermos with egg on.
There was full of
You
it.
know, full to the brim.
Gross.
When it's being disgusting when it's filled.
Like, it wasn't cold there either. Like, it's eggnog.
yeah, I feel like you're in like
Ew.
North Carolina or something.
Yeah.
When I thought too, like,
No.
like, oh, it's gonna be like alcoholic eggnog or something, and he's gonna. Be
I think
like,
it was. That's why he was like, here,
It
have
might have
some.
been.
Yeah.
But either way, gross. Like,
So, also, did you get into this, like, meeting the white blonde family and be like, oh, so this is basically a Hallmark movie with a killer shark in it, right?
I thought
I
very
thought
early
it was
on.
like these guys are just all dead. They're all
The acting was so Hallmark movie to me that when she told me it was a sci-fi movie, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, this is making
They
sense.
don't kill anyone in a Hallmark movie. Come on.
And I love that, like, either the dad or the uncle have to mention they're like, I went to Cornell. And then the dad's like, I know, I could be as rich as my brother, but instead I'm just, like, a high school teacher.
High school business.
This is
Yeah.
guys. I popped for a little bit,
I'm sure you did.
but I was also it's like showing off a movie
I have
strip.
to.
I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
like
No, he explains the movie strip to
No.
like an Instagram.
So
background.
it almost got to the point where I was like, are we never going to see the shark, or is it only going to be in comic book strips? Because all we were learning about was, like, his rich family.
Yeah.
And their, like, relationships
And I
with each
cared
other.
Zero for
And
any of
him
these
getting
people.
in trouble for drawing that stupid comic of his principal speaking into
Yeah,
a
the
microphone.
offensive cartoon. Like, I'm like, what the fuck was
Yeah.
offensive about this?
But also like part of like the movie the beginning of the movie hinges on like he has to help his family at this restaurant, and then they ground him. It's like fuck
Yeah.
you, stay home. Like what?
Well, also for no fucking reason.
Like
Like,
okay.
like he didn't draw a swastika. He didn't draw
Yeah,
like a Black Lives Matter and the white people were scared of it. Like they
Right.
didn't draw anything. He drew like a principal who was taller than everybody else talking to a microphone. I was like,
Yeah, but that's because he's an activist, guys.
Right, sure.
yeah.
And his parents- His parents are total
School
squares.
uniforms.
Yeah, he hates school uniforms.
They suppress your individualism. That okay.
But
That literally, when he said the comment, I wrote, "This kid is so white."
yeah,
And then
Yeah.
also his jock brother who. Jock?
Yeah.
He's like got a really good arm.
Yeah, he plays a sports ball of some sort.
And he's
Probably
really
baseball.
good at it.
Maybe
He's, gonna be,
baseball.
he's like, the Asian kid goes, you're going to be a starting pitcher this year.
And he goes, "You know what?
Or the starting pitcher. I'm like, there's more than one fucking
you
starting
nerds
pitcher.
pick on us all the time just because we're jocks." And I'm like,
yeah. No, what?
"Oh, okay,
Sorry, what?
okay, man."
Also, that kid was like barely bigger than his brother. Like, I was like, oh.
There's a lot of fun tropes, starting with not starting with, but one of the big ones that started out was the uncle telling the son, telling the nephew that his mom was a hypocrite. Like, she used to party back in the day
Oh
too,
yeah,
man.
she went through her punk rock
I
phase.
know.
No,
Also,
No.
no, she did not.
Yeah.
She
she
did not party
was like
at
the
all.
most white
She
bread.
ate like
Fuck you.
mayonnaise
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
She had like
Fuck you.
boiled goose.
She did none of
I
that.
boiled the chicken and put salt. and
If
pepper
you're
in
mad
it.
about him drawing
She got her
a picture of his
first- yeah.
principal, you
No,
are
she
not.
got her first set of pearls when she was like 10. She's like, oh,
Like, it would have been much better if that was the case, if she was actually the actress, and so she gets all mad with, oh, don't worry, I'm going to talk to him, and like, hangs on the principal's like, you're not in trouble this time, or something, like, you know, or like, to make it up to me, you do this. Like, but shows that, like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but instead she's a total dick, like,
Yeah.
the whole time. I'm like, God.
So I'm not sure who wrote the music for this, but I'm pretty sure it was Danny Elfman's.
Yeah.
His Gardner wrote it.
Like,
Like he's just like, I saw Danny Elfman playing in the kitchen. Whoopity whoopity doo doo. I'm like, what the fuck?
did you listen to,
Let me stop.
was there any Christmas music that made any Christmas music sense?
no. So I loved when they
no,
played
they had
Christmas
like Nat
music.
King Cole, dude. It was pretty good.
No, it was not. It was like
Nat King Cole, baby, yeah.
it was like the music version of the
It was
worst
like
Christmas
Nathan-
song.
Nathan
Yeah.
Prince Coleman,
They
man.
gotta keep the budget under $1
Yeah.
million, man. They can't be buying up that movie, Nat King Cole rights, you know? Like,
I think they
that's
played
expensive.
Good King Wenceslas once for like
Yeah.
like
No,
13
no,
seconds.
this is like really like off-brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
All that.
B-side,
Yeah.
B-side Christmas music. Ding dong melody on
Like, oh, great.
So he makes this wish that he wants to be alone on Christmas because he's pissed off because he can't go to the comic book store.
But
to
he's
buy-
also
He's
writing.
grounded. He's
Yeah.
gonna be alone on Christmas.
He's also got this pen from his uncle or grandfather,
Yeah.
and it's a pen with like some weird writing on it and a weird language. Just like really weird. It looks like
Not explained. It's
Yeah.
just in a
at
package.
all. Never. It's never fucking
Like it's not like I went to the Himalayas and found this pen for
something.
you.
Something.
Nothing.
Anything.
Nothing.
This is passed down through my family for generations. Nothing.
Nothing.
I went to this odd curio store and it was
Yeah.
sitting. Yeah.
It was next to this Mogwai or
And,
something.
and it's written in fucking German, so he can't read any. He can't discern that. So he's just like writing with his pen. He's like, I hate my family. I want them all to die. Like,
yeah, you're right. He can't read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get there. We're good there.
Wait
So
for it.
He's writing, drawing the stupid shark, going, my family, they all suck. I want to be
Yeah.
alone forever, or something like that.
I hate everybody.
And
But also, Matt, he uses the pen to trace the. He basically inks
just
the
tracing
shark.
the shark.
He
Yeah.
inks the shark.
This isn't even ink. It's just tracing.
And I wrote down this kid's a tracer.
That's all he did. He already drew the shark. He just traced the shark. It was already there.
I was mad. You know, he doesn't have. He can't pay someone to ink it. And I
But
was-
also, the shark is now fully fledged after this. Not like just penned in. He didn't color it in with a pen. I mean,
But Matt,
how the fuck does that work?
Yeah, but that's also when she got her Christmas lights because she got lit. She got Christmas lights wrapped around her. and
We're
then
gonna talk
she
about
ran
the
around.
other stuff drawn later because I really want to get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get there though. But so yeah, so now this is where we get to the grandfather with his eggnog. And so one of the things from Santa Jaws is Santa Jaws attacks anything that has to do with Christmas.
eggnog on the water, baby.
And he drops the eggnog.
No, now do you think Santa Jaws is just like white specific, or do you think like if I drop some coquito in there, he would like, oh, look at you.
Well, you weren't in the family.
White,
Well, no,
yeah.
but he did kill people who weren't in the family. So I don't know. I don't think Santa Jaws would know
like
coquito.
horribly maimed one of them first.
But they're
and I
all
was like,
Christmas
why
things.
did
Yeah.
you do that though?
Yeah,
They're
the
only
elf
Christmas
guy.
things though. I
Yeah, it's true.
think. Also, what the fuck did that elf guy do?
You just was Christmas.
He wasn't
the wrong
part
place.
of this.
Wrong place at the wrong time. Christmas.
Also, could he see out of the water? I don't know what the powers of this shark are.
So basically, the main cause of death was people dropping stuff near the water.
Yeah.
And this movie is just like, oh no, I dropped this thing that I could definitely just leave there. I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
Like, just-
Slowly.
Why?
Slowly.
Why though? Why?
Also, clearly the special effects were.
Subpar.
Yeah.
Great. No, I think you meant.
Was this made by the same person that did Velocipaster? Because.
It was a little better than the last
Yeah.
one.
You know what?
Okay.
Velocipaster knew what it was. This did not. I don't know what the fuck this movie
I
is
felt
supposed to be.
this felt gleeful to me. You know what I'm saying? This felt like in the spirit of Christmas. This might be a Christmas movie I watch every year.
No,
Oh,
it won't.
God.
No, it will not be. Please stop lying.
So
Same.
one of my favorite parts of the movie was that his mom was supposed to be cooking this community dinner for like a ton of people.
Mhm.
And they're in a restaurant that looks like it can fit about 15 people.
And they have 4 people cooking.
Yeah, no, and she's cooking with like maybe one other person helping. Like there's no extras in this movie. So I'm just like, how is she and she's talking about how she's making the pie like 3 hours before dinner starts and they just put the turkeys in. And I'm just like, clearly they
You
don't
remember
know
how
how
many
you
turkeys
feed.
they had?
Yeah.
Do you remember how many
Yeah.
other people you saw in this fucking town?
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It was a ghost town.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it was a set.
Yeah. Exactly.
But like they could, like you couldn't get like a couple people off the street to like just walk through a couple times with a different hat on, like nothing.
Hi,
I'm-
I'm in catering.
Like the closest thing they had extra was the elf dude that they got murdered.
Oh, also the comic book store guy, like they're talking about the girl, and he's like, she's a regular, gonna be soon regular. So he's like getting gross about it too.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he's super gross.
why are we sexualizing this young girl?
That's
over
what I
and
want to know.
over again.
That's what I want to know.
Oof, oof, like, oof.
Also, they made a gay joke.
Not a friend though, but like still,
Like,
oof.
the main character's clearly gay. Like, just fucking, I don't know.
No, but not
I
the
don't know.
not the actors.
Yeah,
gay,
the
not the-
actor's gay, not the character.
He should have been
He
gay.
wants that
He's like,
girl.
I love women.
and I love
Yeah.
sporty women, big square shoulders, penises, everything. All that stuff.
His friend was the worst. His puns were terrible. Nothing he did was
Fuck
funny.
that kid,
He was
man.
so
He
annoying.
was the only person that when they died, I was like, okay.
No,
Okay,
we
like,
literally,
this
I wrote in here,
Fine.
can the friend get eaten
Yeah,
now?
like, that was fine.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
like, not the friend. I'm like, nah, it's okay.
Also,
His mom, I wanted to fucking.
after, yeah, no, but after the grandpa dies,
Oh, and she does.
he like doesn't mourn at all.
No, he doesn't
Like,
want anyone
yeah,
dying.
anyone.
They die, and seconds later, he's doing a different
So really,
thing.
this is a movie about like a
He's a school
psychopath.
shooter.
Yeah, exactly.
This kid is a murderer. His dad like has a fucking rifle with an extended clip.
We
That's
said
like a,
several times he's a sociopath.
it's like a 30-06, and like your kid is and the kid knows he's like fucking
No, I know.
shouldering that shit. He knows how to
He
shoot
wasn't
that
showing
rifle.
that well.
He is a
Nobody
school
had
shooter.
drug control at all. But
He's
You know
enough to be a school shooter. My
I
friend,
bet this
okay?
movie went over really well in Florida. I bet people in Florida loved this movie.
Well, and also like how you're like related, like oh he's going fishing and they're going and she's in a bikini the day before Christmas. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
sure.
Like okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but it had to been like in Florida, basically.
But it looked like it was in like Missouri. Like
Yeah, no, it could have been. Yeah.
Like it was just like a
Could've been
pond
Missouri,
in
too,
Missouri.
yeah. I'm thinking
It's on the Ozarks.
Florida
Yeah,
Panhandle.
exactly.
Like it
Oh,
looked
yeah.
like shit. It didn't look like it wasn't even shitty enough to be a panhandle. It was just like
It could have been like OBX
Tallahassee.
too. It could have been like
Oh
OBX.
no, OBX nicer now.
Oh, I don't know.
Mm.
This guy knows.
Maybe like the
They have swampy
the Bayside,
areas
maybe.
too.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Bayside.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, but they did get the shark's eye. That was the thing.
Which was like a weird lighted eyeball.
Well, yeah, because it glows like Rudolph's nose, man. That's part of the lore. But
Um,
also, like the shark's just like cool.
I also like that the shark didn't just eat people. Like it set things up, like putting its lights in the
Well, 'cause it's super
propeller.
intelligent, yeah.
Yeah. She like.
Which, by the way, like, what the fuck?
How was that a thing? There's no hand still.
Yeah.
But also, like that's like breaking its own rules as a shark, and it's like, oh, you have to put a Christmas thing in the water. Hey, it's Christmas. The boat's not Christmassy.
Yeah.
You put fucking lights in that thing. You're an asshole, shark. You broke your own
Also,
rules.
it has a hat on its fin though, so does it get pissed at the hat if it sees it? Like, what
How
happens?
does it see it? It's in
I think that would have been a cool thing. Like they showed it.
I
the
think
hat
it's
and
she's
it got
like
all
no
figured
one
out.
else can
and
have
then just
Christmas
shoots its tail
except
out.
me.
I guess, but like, why did it attack the boat then? Like, nobody's even wearing like the guy at Jingle Bells.
Oh,
on,
you
like,
mean
in
the
water.
juniper?
Yeah, the guy
You
was
mean the
dressed like an
juniper?
elf.
By the way, this rich
Yeah.
ass guy.
on the boat. Though?
This rich ass guy
No,
gets his.
the uncle guy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
He
It
was-
was
he's
just
wearing
he
a
didn't the
captain's hat,
family
had, like, a
because he
Jingle
wished
Bells
for his
on.
family to go
But
away.
rich,
So
rich ass uncle gets that BS boat.
yeah.
That boat you could have rented for
Which,
like $4.
which he's like bragging about the boat the whole time, and
Yeah.
he's going like,
It's called the Juniper. I remember this because
Okay.
looking at it, I'm like no.
Well, and
rich
no,
person
and
would ever be seen
the
in this boat.
daddy
I
then
made a
like
Juniper
made fun
Berries
of
joke
him. He
and
was
Jimmy
like,
didn't
"Oh, I
get
thought
it
he got a
first time.
yacht."
You didn't play
Oh.
Skyrim, Scrub. and she's
I
like,
guess it
"Oh."
wasn't a yacht. I did like though that like the Snapstagram girl or whatever was like, "Honey, you're learning how to do things." She's like, "You got us matching pajamas and you dress nicely."
They had like a good relationship.
Yeah, they
which is
did.
Weird. I thought
Yeah.
like something.
I liked the uncle. I thought he
Yeah.
was a cool guy. Like
Yeah.
this rich guy.
the
but
dad was milquetoast.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
No, the
like
parents
it. And
were
also,
the
he was
worst.
like a
Mom was
coward
fucking with
Yeah.
until he had a fucking gun, and I was like, wait, what? He's like, I don't believe you. I'm worried. And then he's like, I have a gun. I'm gonna kill this thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in the water and kill it. Like it's a shark.
Well, also the mom's like, I don't believe my son or care about him until, oh no, I guess I believe him.
Yeah.
And I guess I care about him at the end.
And he wasn't the only one who like
'Cause he's a
didn't
weird
seem
school
to
shooter.
care when people died either. Like no one in the family ever really cared when they found out someone had died. They're just like, oh well, I guess
Literally
we gotta
his-
fight this shark now.
All of his family and friends were slaughtered, and at the end, he's just like,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just like burn this book. I guess.
So
Worked.
can I just say, bells don't make any sound underwater. Just want to say that because
True.
like they have the jingle bells just all underwater.
And they probably wouldn't make a great sound coming out of the
Yeah.
water either because they'd have stuff in there with the
yeah,
bell
they'd be
bit.
all exactly.
But they're Christmas. Okay?
Sure. But also like
Also, you
at
should know
no
it's coming if
point,
there's bells.
at no point in this movie did anyone contact the authorities. They're just like,
There
no,
was
we're
nobody
just
there.
gonna-
There's no police.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do? Get eaten by the
Yeah.
shark? Like, come on.
Also, there's nobody there. There's no police there.
I
There's nobody that lives in this
is there-
town. There's the elf guy. There's the family.
A better version of this would have been either Jacob Ladd's scenario or he was in an asylum the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, the shark's gonna get me. Like, get back in there. You killed all those kids in that school, and then just throw him back in there. So he realizes finally that the pen can maybe
Yeah.
change his destiny.
Well,
so
and how does he realize it?
because they pick up the box and the girl, his girlfriend there, can be German for a reason.
Who also
Oh,
like
okay.
is pretty much Hermione. Like she saves everyone's asses. She knows how to do everything. She's like, I'll do this and I'll
I
do
can
this
shoot a
and I'll
bow.
do
I
this.
can throw a spear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's like, I want to shoot this bow, blah, and you're like, it's like, I can do it real well. And you're like,
The best part was every one of those things landing on the water, just like
oh,
falling
the trash.
weakly,
Yeah.
and then like land it, and then it's just the next scene going into it.
And
It's
see,
like,
this is
nope.
where I was like, okay, somebody was like, keep moving, keep this,
Yeah.
keep the clacker moving. Let's just go.
They're like, you're out of money. It's like, okay, just keep this
Yeah.
one take.
Got
Okay,
it.
Okay, we gotta get back to this comic book store owner because they drop the fucking pen when they leave, of course. And the
And
comic
they MacGuffin show that shit
Yeah.
too. And you're like, okay,
yeah, and then they come back, and the comic store owner is like, "Here's my girlfriend, Svetlana," and
yeah, because he brags that he can also draw comics.
yeah. So I guess he drew a
A
hot
sexy
chick.
babe, yeah,
And a cool car.
And a
And
bunch
a
of
bunch-
money.
and a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like, does he have to draw like accurate money, or is it like just he draws like a square with a dollar sign in it and he gets the money? Like,
you can
what
kind of
happens?
draw. I don't know. You can draw whatever the fuck you want. Obviously.
Yeah, like I want to know now. Like, what are the boundaries for this?
Now, what
pen?
would you
Like,
draw if you could have this pen? What would you draw?
Another one of me.
You already have the better version.
Because I'm the pen. I'm real boy. I'm a real boy.
I just draw weed.
Dicks and bones and weed and bones.
No, but like
Katie, there's too much. The house is full
Jesus,
of weed.
no,
I
could
can't
just
get
give
through
it
the
to
house.
everyone.
Did you have to go like all of the weed?
Sticks and stone and weed and bones.
And you'd be like, Miguel, you drew a bunch of flour, and he'd be like, yes, flour in bags.
Flower.
Yeah.
What? I mean, what?
No, we'd sell it, obviously.
Yeah.
Why do we need to sell it? We can make money.
Have a great
Just
day.
draw money.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
I would also have a job though, even though I've been a magic
Yeah.
pen that can draw.
I drew
anything.
Texas with a dollar sign. Thanks.
So, yeah. So they one of the things this is they're going by the comics rules, which of course they wrote and drew. You can only hurt the shark with Christmas themed weapons.
Of course.
So they basically decorate their weapons with tinsel and bows. They have a mace.
A
There's
mace.
Yeah.
A fucking
crossbow.
mace.
And it's
Oh,
over the
'cause
top
also, the comic store owner had all this fucking shit.
Which, by the way, none of these kids know this, and he just goes, and he doesn't like open a thing. There's
Yeah,
no
it was
reveal.
right
He's
next
like,
to
it's
him.
right next to him. Like you're talking to me, and it's right there.
Like, you
Like
should
I
know
said,
from day one this guy had
This
this
movie
shit.
was probably filmed in Florida, so.
I'm glad. Again, for me, this leads to they know they know the shitty thing they're doing, and that's what made me okay with this movie.
I'm still not sure.
Yeah, so they start taking this stuff away from the shark. Like, oh, we'll take his teeth away, but then he bites something and he gets more teeth.
Glass
within it.
bulbs.
Glass bulbs.
Yeah, because glass teeth are very strong.
No, they also make
glass bulbs.
They also make grenades out of glass bulbs at one point.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
then what do they do? They throw a spear. They like
Okay,
put a
first
spear
of all,
through 'em,
He
but it gets
impales
the
it.
narwhal horn.
Right, he impales it, but like, why would you impale it there? Like, he draws it like that. Like, impale it up through the fucking. Like, what the
He
fuck
wanted
is
it
wrong
because it
with
goes
you?
through its brain, but he
Sure,
doesn't.
it didn't
It
though.
didn't.
You
It goes to narwhal,
dumbass.
basically. That can then use that horn as a fully integrated
Now it's like part of it.
Yeah. It's like a fully integrated lance.
And also just funny, guys. Christmassy,
Sure.
I mean, it's fun.
hilarious.
I mean, and then the dad, and of course, then we're getting towards the end here. It's the final stand against the shark.
Yep.
just
so-
the mom and dad and Cody at this point.
Yeah,
so
everyone
they
else
fig-
is dead.
So they
Everyone.
figured that they can.
the son was
the brother's
there.
still there.
Brother was
Yeah,
there.
brother's still there.
Oh, can we also talk about just real quick too? There was definitely a romantic scene like after a bunch of people had been murdered, and then they're like hitting on each other,
Yeah.
and
I mean, and he looks like Dane DeHaan's like serial killer son, and then a girl that's much taller than him. And
So would it
popular.
be? Would
Yeah.
this be a fear boner or a murder boner? Because technically he's committed
yeah,
these murders with the
it's
shark.
true.
Also, they give this kid no makeup, by the way, because he was just fucking blushing
Oh yeah,
the entire
his
time.
cheeks were so red. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude.
Diseased?
I'm
Is
like,
he allergic to
did you
catering?
run a
What's going on?
marathon before you came?
Yeah.
Like,
He's
you
like, I
okay?
had something from catering. I think I'm allergic to
Yeah,
pineapple.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Pineapple
yeah,
in there?
like there's pine nuts. There's pine nuts in there. There's something going on with that kid. I was like, his face is so red, like right here.
Like, I'm like, just a little touch up.
He looked like a doll. I was like, what's your face?
Like, that's out of the budget. We had to cut the
Because
makeup.
his own mom did his makeup. She's like, I'll be his makeup
He's
artist.
a darling.
Yeah.
Put some
rouge on him. Like,
I gotta put some life in you.
But they made a turkey poult, guys. Okay.
Oh my god, that
They
was the
stuffed these
stupidest
turkeys
part.
full of
It
explosives.
clearly didn't work First of all, it was
Oh, by the way,
supposed to
they found a creative explosives in a shed.
yeah.
Just happened.
Okay, but then they're also shooting. They're
Florida.
shooting these turkeys, and you're like, oh, it's
Okay.
good. It's in the thing's path. They want to eat it, but it's just a complete.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be like it was
We're
supposed to
trying
come
to
eat
hit
it.
Well,
They-
the worst part is they fire them and then they just don't. They don't really show them. It's
Yeah.
like it's missed, and you're like, you're not going to show it though. Like,
No,
it's-
and it would land like a foot away from the fin, and it's like that's already here. Like it's not gonna eat it from over here.
But also,
But then
was
the-
it to eat or was it to
but
blow
then,
it
then
up?
they have one last one.
No, it was
One
supposed to eat it because
last
the
turkey,
explosives were inside of it, just like
Oh,
Jaws.
no, yeah, it's like just, but they did say that they were going to shoot it when it was going into its mouth.
Yeah.
Like so it wouldn't
Yeah.
be fully eating it
Fucking
yet.
dumb.
But also, like, if it's a
A
wet
bad
explosive and you shoot it, it's not going to do
Yeah.
anything. It's a wet explosive.
Yeah.
These aren't like fucking like it's not like napalm or
Yeah.
something that can burn on water. It's just like a regular
It's dumb.
gunpowders. It's just explosives.
It's
with-
also not a
with-
phosphorus
with,
round.
with the spiky lines around it,
Also
like
not
it's like
phosphorus
it's
round.
Yeah, yeah,
like
From this
I like
weird
Like
gun.
cartoon Rocky.
I did like that. Yeah, I did
Bullwinkle,
like that. It was a cool
Dynamite.
explosive. So I was like, okay, you know what?
I
You
found
can't-
TNT.
this movie got worse, and I like it. Yeah, but the last turkey, guys, they try and get. This is the last stand. We got to get in with this turkey.
Yeah.
And then it flew.
It lands
That
on
was shitty.
like-
Oh shit.
It looks like trash. Looks
Yeah.
disgusting. Actually, I was like, "Look, it looks fucking gross."
Just leave it.
At this point, Jamie is laugh fully. She's fully laughed, which was this.
I was hoping the shark would just go and grab him. He was like, I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
He's like, "What? Why?"
Oh, that guy's dead.
Like that's a Christmas thing. He kills Christmas things.
Yeah.
Let him get that and then shoot him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get it. Like okay.
That would have been literally the best option because it would have been up on the thing and they could have shot it maybe when it was out of the water. Like
Also, like no one just had to go in the water, and they
Yeah.
mentioned it a few times. Like, why don't we just not go in the water? And like,
Yeah.
no, we have to stop it. Like, why?
Why? There's nobody that lives
It's
here.
in a pond. Like,
Yeah.
where's it gonna go? It's you keep saying it's a bay, but you haven't shown any outlet for this bay, so I don't.
Wait, we didn't even talk about how the elf was killed. The elf guy. So this guy was
Elf
like a
guy.
drunk elf.
For
and
no reason. No reason.
He's sitting on the dock.
He's in festive cheer. Okay?
Yeah, he's sitting on the
Why?
dock with his legs hanging off.
Why?
And the shark decides to push a boat into his legs,
Like so are
Like a
the
dick.
which somehow cuts them in half.
Yeah,
Like
it's
doesn't
really
just
hard. Really
like
hard.
slam, like break his knees or anything. Just literally cuts them in
Theoretically,
half.
it could cut him in half. But also, fucking dumb.
And then drags him into the water because the
Well,
poor
then he's like
guy's just-
hopping around or something.
Oh, God.
I have no legs. I have no legs.
He's
Yeah,
hopping around.
No, yeah, because that's totally what you do on the ends of your broken off legs.
Yeah, you wouldn't crawl or anything. You'd jump. It's funnier. That's I think again, guys, lending to the Creeds that they knew. What they
That's the
were
first
doing.
time it showed blood-ish, by the way, at that point.
And it was if you looked at it, it was
Oh my
very
God.
bad CG
Yeah,
blood.
so can we talk about the scene
Very
when
bad.
his mom is finally getting eaten and there's like no blood?
And you see how he reacts. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I gotta find the thing.
Yeah, that shark,
I'm dying." Like,
that shark was snacking on her ass.
Yeah,
Maybe
also,
if I-
yes. That,
get the
yeah,
book maybe
no, it
and
was.
I'll draw
it was
something
eating
maybe,
her ass
like-
for like
he's
for like a straight minute.
that shark
Mom's
ate
ass was
Yeah.
big as fuck. Yeah.
yeah.
Tossing that
You know what I'm
salad
saying? Yeah, like
with this shark
And
teeth.
she's just like-
like a shark
she's
just
just
got out
like-
of prison.
Oh! Ah!
And they had like a little trickle of blood. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, they're trying a little bit like
Yeah,
that.
the second amount of the second.
But also,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's looking around like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. He's just like doing this thing, and I'm like, what the fuck? Just fucking do anything.
Yeah.
That's your mom dying. Even though I mean, she is an
But he
asshole.
did.
But
he did it.
kind of, yeah. And like he's just like, oh, just burn the book, and then it'll stop everything. I'm like, what? They weren't just
It
do
does.
that from the beginning though.
But then he's like knocked out, and he wakes up in his bed, and it's not. A dream.
Also, at the very end, there
Or
was
is it
like
dream?
when he like wrote something in, and I was like, you couldn't write things before, you fucking idiot! I thought the whole point was it had to be drawn. You should have written in like in the very
you could have
first
done a speech
scene,
bubble
like,
where the shark was like,
yeah.
"Hi, do you not want to hurt
But
anyone?"
guys, do you know what he says when he kills the shark? Do you remember what he says?
No.
Oh,
Ho ho ho, you son of a fish.
no,
Guys, who else thought that was the best line?
right?
No one
Yeah,
else.
raise your hand. Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, don't.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho, you son of a fish.
Yeah.
Um.
This movie was weirdly bad because I knew it was supposed to be bad, obviously.
Oh,
And,
but
like,
we're not done yet, guys.
no, we're done.
No,
how are we
because
still?
because so he immediately wakes up on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
His whole family's alive.
We're fine.
His grandfather
Grandpa's
says,
there.
"Get these cinnamon buns from the oven for everybody." The kid just takes the fuck off. He's just gonna do it, and then he leaves
Yeah.
to go get some fucking ass.
Which you should.
He's like, he goes in like, and then goes to the girl immediately and just like, we should go to the ice cream shop. She's like, here's that comic book back, and like, And he's like, here's a different comic, and like, now we're friends or lovers.
Yeah.
And then he burns the comic, but it burns regular, which I thought was weird.
And he's like, we'll go shopping! And
Yeah.
she's like, well, come on, man.
yeah, I just kept thinking he's so red because he's like, did he
Cheeks
run?
were so red.
What the hell is going on?
Like, and they were like perfect circles, like on his cheeks. Like, it looked like somebody painted them very badly.
oh,
on
guys,
there.
did her last line, the girl's last line, that comic was pretty killer. And he says, "You have no idea," and then you kill yourself. And then you just let the other fellas take over. Let the fellas take over. You sing it to the water.
Okay, so but is this movie? We're not gonna compare it this time to Yoga Hosers.
Why not?
Is this
That's like
movie
the whole point.
better or worse than the Star Wars Christmas special?
It's worse. The Star Wars Christmas special is amazing.
I like
Lumpy.
this movie.
I would watch this movie over Star Wars Christmas special.
Fuck you guys.
I mean, I like Star Wars Christmas Special too. I'm still comparing Yoga Hosers. I still think it was not as good as Yoga Hosers, but obviously.
What?
Yeah, babe.
You are
what about
backwards
you?
as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, what about
but-
you, babe? What
but-
about you?
Oh god.
Right?
Oh man, this one's tough.
I mean, it's like comparing
Movie
apples
shit.
and kumquats.
Remember
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
that Kevin Smith's daughter sings in
Okay.
Yoga
Okay.
Hosers.
Here's the thing about this movie.
there you go.
This movie
Winner.
tried to hit those same beats
Harley-
that They were
Harley
Kevin
Quinn.
Smith beats in that comic store.
Oh, they wanted to so
Yeah.
bad.
So bad.
So
But
bad.
they were so fucking far off.
And Danny Elfman's Gardner's writing that music.
You know what?
Like,
You know what? You know
oh,
what?
Okay, now.
You know what? That Asian kid made
Was
it
the
worse.
best.
He was those fucking
No, I agree with you.
those
He was
fucking puns he kept putting
Yeah.
in. They're so bad.
I feel like the Asian kid was maybe like the producer's son, maybe. Or
Oh,
something.
They
there
were
were
so
also,
bad.
you guys, there were literally no black people in this movie. No.
Yeah, that's why
I
was
mean, they were in a
like,
town where
majority.
there wasn't.
Yeah, like,
That Asian kid was like an
I
exchange
mean, that
student
could
or
work for the
adopted
panel
or
too,
something.
honestly.
He's
though.
probably adopted. Like there's just all
Yeah.
white kids. Because obviously he's got all the dad fucking jokes, and they were all terrible. Like he had no delivery, no timing. And like I said, the first thing was definitely ADR. The first whole scene was his voice ADR.
Like,
This is worse than Yoga.
Tell me
Hosers.
this kid is not like in prison for murdering someone at this point. Like,
What else has he done? Has he done anything else?
let's Reed Miller. We're looking at the
Murdered children.
his filmography
in his
is
basement.
Good Joe Bell. He was in You.
He played
show
young
about a stalker.
Hannibal, maybe. In
The show
Hannibal.
about a stalker. He's not the main character in that, but he has 34 credits. Play by play. He did 24 episodes of this, and he was the main character. It looks like he's on the cover.
How
of
about a
this.
show everyone watched? Play by play.
Play by play.
Oh, is he Canadian? It was probably like a Canadian teen show.
Or
yeah.
Australia, some kind of weird thing.
Yeah.
Like
He's in a show
Disney.
called. He was in a movie called Flicker, which sounds
That sounds a horror movie. It sounds like a horror
real
movie.
gross. Don't Go Alone. Yeah, I feel like he's got some. They're like, this guy has some real horror chops.
Yeah.
You got to get him in here for
Yeah.
Santa Jaws.
That was before Santa Jaws. He did that stuff.
He was in the show Training Day, not the movie. The show.
He's probably like the son of somebody or something.
The comic book store guy was in a few things.
I can't believe that either. That was fucking terrible.
They were all terrible.
He looked like he really wanted to be Jake Johnson.
Yes.
Really badly.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just as good as Jake Johnson.
Or that other short guy who kind of looks like Jake Johnson,
Joey
who's also a
Baldwin.
comedian.
You think he was like a young Joey Pants? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'd say like a young.
No, I think that's what he thought
Tommy
he was.
Dreamer. That's what you look like.
Scott Alan Perry. Here we go. I've definitely seen him and stuff.
Sean William Scott was in this.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
He's like, I have 3 names like a serial killer.
Oh, but Courtney Loran went on to Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the Vampire Diaries, the girl from that. So she
First of
got
all, the comic book guy is actually in, it looks like a Hallmark movie, Christmas in Louisiana. But he was in several episodes of Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yep. He was in Preacher. He was in Keeping Up with the Joneses. So he's been in some things.
Yeah, so
He was a voice in NBA 2K16.
Yeah, I was thinking he's a
He
bad
was in
actor,
an
but
episode
you're
of
wrong.
Shameless. So there you go. And he was in a movie called Pastor Shepherd starring Danny Trejo. So obviously that is one we need to watch.
Oh boy.
You know
But
what?
anyway, you guys, watch it. Don't watch it. It's about.
No,
it's,
so do you think we should
Home
burn
Alone
it?
mixed with
Would you burn
Jaws.
this? Would you burn it or
If
would
I
you
had a
watch it?
lighter, I'd pull it up right now. Burn the shit out.
I didn't hate watching this movie,
Crap. I did.
I think it's 2-1, Matt.
but
This
I
movie's
wouldn't
good.
watch it again.
She said it. This movie was
I
good.
wouldn't watch it again.
You heard it here
So you
first.
burn after watching it.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna give it to
I-
other people.
I'd
You like
pass
want
it
to burn
on.
before
You're like
watching.
an STD.
Yeah, like herpes.
I'd
Pass it on.
I'd share.
I would take a lot of penicillin,
Yeah.
and then you watch this movie.
I'm allergic to penicillin.
Yeah, maybe I'd still take the
I'm
penicillin.
allergic to that too.
Maybe you still take the penicillin.
Okay, bye guys. We love you.
Bye.
That's great.